Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at some composite functions. And what this really means is functions that are inside of functions. So we're going to use this little diagram to help us to understand what this means. So first of all, we've got two functions to find. The first one, f of x, is 3x plus 2. The second one, g of x, is x squared plus 4. Now, when I say composite function, I'm talking about a function inside another function. So our first question in part A asks us to find f of g of x. And sometimes you might see this written as f o g of x like this. It just means f g of x, as I've stated in the original question. Similarly, if we look at B, this would be g o f of x, and part C, f o f of x. So look out for that notation. It means exactly the same thing. Okay, so how are we going to work this out? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to start thinking. So we start actually counterintuitively from the right-hand side, because the function that's on the inside first is g of x. So I'm going to be starting off by writing that one, and that will be x squared plus 4, of course. And then what happens is we're acting our f on that. So what I mean by that is rather than having 3x plus 2, we have 3 lots of that function plus 2, okay? So what we're really doing, this is equivalent to f of x squared plus 4. Do you see what I mean, okay? We're acting on a function itself. Right, from here, we want to simplify this. So let's expand those brackets. We're going to have 3x squared plus 12 plus 2, which is 3x squared plus 14. So there is my final simplified answer for part A. Now, that is totally different to part B. Let's think about this one here. We've got to do g of f of x. So that means the inside function is f of x. So we start with that, 3x plus 2. And now, of course, we've got to act on it as we would act on an x in terms of g. So that means rather than x squared plus 4, it's that function squared plus 4. So g of f unsimplified looks like this. Now we can perhaps expand those brackets. So if I'm expanding 3x plus 2 all squared, maybe we do a quick grid to help us to work this out. 3x plus 2 times 3x plus 2, that's going to be 9x squared, a 6x, a 6x, and a 4. So this is going to be 9x squared plus 12x plus 4. And then we've got that other 4. Look, there it is on the end as well. Let's not forget about that. So for that reason, we can simplify another stage, and we can write this as 9x squared plus 12x plus 8. And there's our final answer, look, for part B. Now, we can go a stage further and look at C. So C is f, and then acting on itself, f of f. So what was f? Well, it was 3x plus 2. So let's write that out. We've got 3x plus 2 as the inside function. And then, of course, we're acting on that with a 3, timesing by 3 and plussing 2 again. So that'll be 3 lots of 3x plus 2 plus 2. Okay, let's simplify that. So let's expand that bracket. That's going to give us a 9x plus 6 plus that 2 on the end, which is 9x plus 8. Okay, so hopefully that made a little bit of sense. Let's go and have a look at another example now and see if we can run through this nice and quick and see if we can get some answers. Okay, so let's start off with A, f of g of x. So we put that g of x on the inside. In this example, it's 4x minus 3. And then we are going to then act with the f on that. So rather than square rooting x, we're square rooting that function. And so for A, look, we're finished. It's the square root of 4x minus 3. Let's carry on now and do B. The inside function is the root of x. So let's write that in, root of x. And we're going to act on it by multiplying by 4 and then minusing 3. Make sure that square root sign stays there and doesn't include that minus 3. And we're done. Let's carry on and do part C, f of f. Well, the inside function is the square root of x. And of course, we are square rooting that. So it's the square root of the square root of x. Now, we could simplify that, but I'm not going to because I want to keep this a really concise video. That will do for now, okay? Finally, let's just do g of g. So we've got an inside function of 4x minus 3, and then we're acting on that with the same operations, timesing it by 4 and taking away 3. So it's timesing it by 4, taking away 3 gives us that expression. Now we can simplify that out. Let's expand those brackets. 16x minus 12 minus 3, giving us a final answer of 16x minus 15. Okay, hopefully you've understood that and followed it, and you can now have a go at applying this technique to some different composite